Good morning. I'm going to wait 20 seconds for everybody to sit. I don't know what that means. I did the gong. That was the official one. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice, or UCOV for short. My name's Eileen Leapley, and I'm serving as your worship associate along with Ginny Chapelier. If you are new to this congregation, you will find that we are a friendly group of curious, open-minded people, and we welcome you. No matter your color, creed, ability, or class, no matter who you love, no matter your gender expression, political affiliation, or religious belief. Here we celebrate our differences as we learn from each other. If you'd like to know more about UCOV and its many opportunities for learning, growth, and connection, please check out our calendar and announcements on Facebook or on our webpage at uucov.org. If you're visiting us for the first time, we would love to get to know you. If you feel comfortable doing so, please raise your hand, tell us your name, and where you're from. Anybody feel comfortable doing that? Tina? No, she's been here before. Everybody's shy today. If you're returning from up north, we'd love to have you stand so we can give you a big hug and welcome you back. I know some of you, Kim and Matt. Welcome, Kim and Matt. Anybody else back? Carol and Richard? Welcome back. All right. Let's see. Well, welcome to everybody who's here. We'd also like to welcome those who are joining us online. We do miss seeing you in person, but we know it's always nice to have the option of staying at home and watching us in your pajamas. UCOV is getting very busy lately. We have a few events coming up, and I'm going to start announcing them. Is Judith Parker here? She had an announcement, but she's either late or won't be able to make it. Where is she? Oh my God. Talk about an entrance, Judith. Compose yourself.
Yes, all right. This is from the nominating committee. Excuse me, let me catch my breath. Recently, there's been a lot of talk about transparency in the U.S. government elections. And the nominating committee believed that this applies to our task as well, to nominate the next slate of officers and trustees. So, some background. Most terms on the board for the trustees, it's customary to allow office holders a second term if they want it, and if the nominating committee believes they've been successful. So sometimes people are up but want to re-up. So to fill positions, we ask the congregation to volunteer if they're interested. And at times, the nominating committee will ask somebody to fill a position. Each year is different, depending on the needs of the congregation, like our current transitional state. So we look for people who have previously served on committees, shown a willingness to compromise, who have an understanding of how the church operates financially and otherwise. The committee also considers diversity, age, gender, sexual orientation, and a bunch of other things so that we have a representation of our community. Because we have so many snowbirds returning later this season, we put in a call for volunteers in the December connections. Note that we will not consider any volunteers after December 4th. So we're still holding open for people who want to raise their hand, but that will sort of stop at December 4th. If you have any questions about our process, please ask any of the nominating committee members, and if they would stand so you could ask them if other than I. There we are. So if you have any questions about our process, we'll be happy to talk to you after the service. Sorry.
Thank you, Judith. Pam Palmer has an announcement.
Good morning. I want to announce the return of the auction. We have a date, January 20th. Lisa and Jim Willits will be chairing the committee. They are going to need a lot of help. And very shortly, it's going to be an art theme. We are going to be asking you artists, non-artists, people who think about art, people who hate art, people who own art, to make donations of their original art or of the image or possibly event at an art thing. You may want to volunteer to take a few people to a concert or a museum. Just think of all those things. There's a possibility that you can do. We will be asking for all those items very shortly. We need to get this organized by the end of December. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam. Ken Boysworth asked me to make a brief announcement. We received from Fidelity Investments an RMD contribution with no name on it. So if that rings a bell to anybody, please contact Ken Boysworth as soon as you can. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, at our social justice table, which is in the back that way, you can submit your choices for local charitable organizations for UCOV to make donations to next year. So if you've got some favorite charitable local organizations, be sure to find that sign-up sheet on the social justice table and make your wishes known. Also today and next Sunday, Community Outreach is collecting for the United Way of Sarasota County Hurricane Ian Relief and Recovery Fund. I will be walking around on the lanai with a basket if you'd like to make a charitable donation to a very worthy cause. We're having a UCOV meet and greet for visitors on the third Sunday of each month. If you're a visitor to UCOV and would like to meet our minister, chat with members of the board, or get to meet other visitors, please consider stopping by Waters Hall next Sunday after the service. That's November 20th. Light refreshments will be served. Today we have a special offering, and that is for CHAPS. CHAPS stands for Charlotte HIV/AIDS People Support. CHAPS provides supplemental food and hygiene products at no cost to persons living with HIV/AIDS and their dependents. Hygiene products cannot be purchased with food stamps, and those products can be vital to people with a compromised immune system. All monetary donations from UCOV are directed to purchases for clients residing in South Sarasota County. Sign up on the lanai for our Rockin' Holiday Dance Party, which is on Wednesday, December 7th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Bellagio Community Room on the island of Venice. Mark and Mary Murray are our hosts, and they're fabulous hosts. We've had it before, and it will be sure to be a rockin' good time. Lastly, I want to say thank you to all our veterans. We just had our Veterans Day, and we appreciate everything that veterans have done for us. Lisa will now play the prelude called We Gather Together by Victor Lebensky. Thank you, Lisa. Words for the chalice lighting are from When I Change by Ma Teresa Tet Gustillo Gallardo. We are here to feel our personal power and our capacity to affect the lives of other people. We are here to become teachers to each other. We are here to spend time away from the usual influences and relearn reality. When I change, the world changes.
Good morning. The opening words this morning are from the Reverend Jen Crow. Take what you need and leave the rest behind. Some of the best advice I ever received was this: in whatever situation you find yourself, take what you need and leave the rest behind. Don't waste your energy on arguing. Just take what you need and leave the rest behind. Over the years, I've found this advice works not only for family gatherings and 12-step meetings, but for the larger project of spiritual living, too. And the best news of all, this taking what we need and leaving the rest behind isn't only a one-time thing. We can do it anytime. Looking back over our lives, we can hear the stories anew, choosing where to focus our attention and where to widen our view. We can let go of old ways of understanding that no longer serve us, and we can find our way free, becoming the meaning makers and the storytellers of our own lives. We get to choose what we need in a given moment, and that need can change. Our gathering hymn this morning is number 67. We sing now together. We will sing verses 1, 3, and 4. Please rise in body or spirit.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Avery, the Director of Religious Education, and today I'm going to read to you a story for the Time for All Ages called Beyond Every Door by Molly Hoosh Gordon. Who here knows the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Can one of the kids in the room tell me how Lucy discovers Narnia? Anyone? All right, we'll go to someone else. Does anyone know? Through the wardrobe, which is like, for those kids who don't understand a wardrobe, it's like a big closet. Lucy looks for the perfect place to hide and opens the door to a big wardrobe. She goes through the door and into the back of the wardrobe, and suddenly she's in a whole other world. A magical world with witches and fauns and talking beavers. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a magical door or world beyond every door? When Lucy opened the door to Narnia, it didn't look like anything special. It was just a boring door to a wardrobe full of clothes and coats. But across its threshold was magic. Lucy already had a foot in Narnia before she quite realized what was happening. Many of the thresholds in our lives are like this. We don't know that we're crossing into another world until we're already halfway there. The door of a church takes us down a pathway of growth we might never have expected. The door to the doctor's office suddenly opens out into life with a hard diagnosis. A restaurant door opens onto a first date and echoes forward into the relationship of a lifetime. A beloved person's door closes behind you and sends you out into the world heartbroken. The door to a library or a gym or a dance studio introduces you to a life's passion you might not have known otherwise discovered. We cross these thresholds every day of our lives, for good and for ill, in joy, in sorrow, in bittersweet truth. Truly, even our own front door is a great threshold, no matter how familiar the world within and without may be. Given our lives' reality of constant change, every day we open the same old door again, only to step out into a world that is new since the day before. In this way, there is a new world behind every door, awaiting our discovery if we will only encounter it as such. Thank you for listening. Please join me with the children's benediction.
Our offering words this morning are by Erica Hewitt, What We Say Yes To. Giving is a sacred practice, and when you give to your church, you also receive. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and this people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something of value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation, as tools to empower our mission of caring for our community, encouraging spiritual growth, seeking meaning, and pursuing justice. church is not the building, but a community. As a community of human hands and human hearts, we come together to share our laughter and our tears, and to bear witness and minister to one another as we struggle with life's sorrows and celebrate life's joys. We are entering into a time of sharing our joys and concerns. You can raise a hand and Eileen will bring you a microphone. Please share information only with permission and speak briefly so that everyone who needs to can share.
Hi, I'm Fran Venice, and my joy is that my daughter Jean has taken a place down here to help me through a hard time. And Wednesday, she and her brother and sister-in-law and I were able to celebrate her birthday. So, happy birthday.
I didn't know that.
Hi, I'm Donna Jewett. I just want to thank everyone who showed up for the Venice Pride. It was so nice to have visibility of the UU people there. I think it was a really good thing for us all to be there, and I was so proud that we could have that presence. Thank you.
That's a great. Anybody else? Sally?
I'm Sally Erb, and this is a joy and a concern. We're headed to upstate New York, where our daughter-in-law will have a second kidney transplant. She has a very complicated case, so keep her in your thoughts. We're joyful that there's a donor.
Well, I know a lot of people have already asked me how Bev is doing. She's doing better, but she's still aching a lot, and we really don't know what the problem is. We have a series of doctor's appointments set up over the next 2 weeks to try to figure out, what has happened. But otherwise, she is improving. She's feeling better, but just no energy or anything like that.
Give her our love. Anybody else? Rosemary?
I'm sure all of you are terribly interested in what is happening to my apartment after the storm. I know it is one of my concerns. I never know when I come home what has happened, except I know the cat is under the bed. They put tape, or they tape plastic, I should say, over my living room and the 2 bedrooms. And they did this so that the ceiling could dry, because the tiles that blew off the roof, and I live on the 3rd floor, and it leaked into my various rooms. Now, I came home yesterday, and the plastic was askew, and I wondered why, and so I called and asked, and they said, it's because we want the ceiling to dry. Which, of course, was why they put the plastic up in the first place, but who knows?
Thank you for the update.
Thank you, Rosemary.
I've been mourning the loss of a huge live oak behind our house that provided so much shade, and birds would lay down underneath it, and squirrels, and we had parties out there in the shade. It was just wonderful, and somebody thought it should come down. The roots pulled out on one side, and it was maybe endangering wires if the next hurricane threw it off, but I think it would have made it. So I'm very sorry.
Canarelli, and I want to do a very quick COVID update. I've been tracking that little virus for almost 3 years now. It's not over. I want you to be very, very vigilant. The 3 metrics that are followed, 2 of them we have low risk, but 1 of them we are high risk, and that is hospitalizations. And that is people who haven't completed all of their vaccine series. If you haven't had 5 shots, you have not completed your COVID vaccine. 2 primary vaccines, your original ones, and 3 boosters. So some of you have told me that you haven't had your 2nd booster or your 3rd booster. You're vulnerable. We do have a couple in our congregation, members that are both COVID positive and are treating now. So we're not going back to masks yet, and I will keep you posted. I'm hoping we're not. Masks are still optional, but just be cautious, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Serena.
That's it.
May the love of this community hold all who need love and concern. May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May the work of our hands and hearts support, aid, and comfort all those who hunger or thirst for food or water, justice or freedom. May we never look away when we are needed. May those who are grieving be comforted. May those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed. May those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Our first reading is Holy is This Place by Maureen Killeran. Blessed is this ground on which we stand. Holy is this place. Holy are the places of memory, the places which have formed us, where we store the icons of successes and shattered dreams, and gather threads and pieces of what we would become. Holy are the places of memory. Holy are the places of the dream, the places over the rainbow, where all children are wanted and all people are fed, where colors are the source of celebration, and youth and age come to the table as one. Holy are the places of the dream. Holy are the places of change and pain, the places of our struggle, where the rivers of our lives run white and fast, and we hold on and grow. Holy are the places of change and pain. Holy are the places of connection, the places where we risk ourselves, where hands touch souls, touch minds, and in awareness still, we change our lives. Holy are the places of connection. Holy are the places of becoming, the places of clear vision, where life and world are intertwined, and we can see forever in this moment and give thanks. Holy are the places of becoming. Blessed is the ground on which we stand. Holy and whole making is this place.
Holding those beautiful words within you, please join me in 1 minute of silent meditation, thought, or prayer.
Our second reading is All That We Do Not Know by Susan L. Souchaki. Day by day, month by month, year by year, we are confronted with all that we do not know, that we do not understand, that we do not grasp. Sometimes we are humbled by this knowledge and say, Spirit, it is too wonderful for me to comprehend, but I know this universe is more grand and more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. And I give thanks for all the blessing of being here and seeing, hearing, experiencing, and sensing all that is so wonderful around me. Sometimes we are saddened by this knowledge and say, "Oh, merciful Spirit, we need to have the burden of hurt and suffering removed from us. Grant us the courage, the wisdom, and the fortitude to bear the pain of living. Send us those who will carry our burdens for a short while, and send us those who will comfort us with their healing words and thoughts." Sometimes we are angered by this knowledge and say, "In the name of justice and compassion, if it be in our power, give us the strength and the ability to right the wrongs. For we do not, nor does any person in the world deserve this." Sometimes we are made joyous by this knowledge, and we say, "Spirit of life who blesses our world, we rejoice and cheer for our glorious life." Sometimes we are made curious by this knowledge and say, "Holy and inexplicable is this life. I have no idea what happened or how it happened, but somehow, some way, something changed, and I am free to explore new ways of being. Please always let me continue to search for the unknown and myself in others." Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our centering hymn this morning. It's number 1015, "I Know I Can," by Jeannie Gagne, verses 1, 2, and 4. Lisa will play the hymn once through completely before we start to sing.
Good job, everybody. I have a feeling this congregation is going to want to swing to that one again. Yeah. The sermon this morning is by the Reverend Gretchen Haley, and it's entitled The Bigger Yes. In the months leading up to my high school graduation, my younger sister Sarah took to glaring at me across the room. Sometimes she'd even give me the silent treatment. Mom told me she's angry at you for graduating. What? Why? Didn't she know this was coming? Isn't she happy for me? I was going to a great university, pretty close by, and it was what we were supposed to do, right? In his wonderful work on life transitions, William Bridges describes the 3 phases of any given life change. First of all, they're the endings. Second of all, the wilderness. Third, launching the new. These stages happen not in a precise order, but rather you go back and forth, sometimes living in a little of all of them at once, but ultimately making your way across the spectrum, fully arriving in the last stage to launch the new. But first, as my sister understood, it's endings. I was slow to understand this myself. It wasn't until the next fall, as I was going to college, that I got it. She and I had been best friends her whole life. I had lived with her, often sharing a bedroom, her whole life, and now I wouldn't anymore. Bridges clarifies this phase is not just moving out or some other physical, literal ending. He says we have to let go of the prior thing before we can pick up the new. Not just outwardly, but inwardly, where we keep our connections to the people and places that act as definitions of who we are. Sarah understood it was not just that we'd no longer live in the same house, we'd no longer be the same people. We'd no longer have the same kind of relationship. It was good, it was what we were supposed to do, and also it was terrible. The terrible part of my new reality hit me a few months into the new year, when I felt an overwhelming sense of loneliness and disorientation. Who were all these strange people? They didn't know me. They didn't love me. And to make matters worse, I'd call home to check in. And my mom would report that Sarah was doing fine. My mom happily shared how Sarah and Christina, our younger sister, had grown closer after I'd left. This is the cycle of life. Endings make room for new beginnings. Old ways fade to make room for a new creation. The Reverend Jen Crow recently told a story about a woman she knew whose greeting, rather than hi or hello, was, "If you're not changing, you're dying." And after that, she might add, "Living things change, dead things don't. If you're not changing, you're dying." So, How is it that something that's required for life, that is change, we are so bad at? It's kind of like breathing. If you die if you don't do it, and yet most of us need remedial lessons to keep us on track. Breathe in, breathe out, let all the air in, let all the air out. Living things change, dead things don't. Rituals help us process change, especially help us with those inner realities. Somehow, walking across a stage, or moving a tassel, or exchanging rings, these act as a signal to our inner selves and begin the slow and necessary work of inwardly letting go of the old. What transitions have you experienced this year? Do you allow yourselves these sorts of rituals? If not, why not gather a few of your friends together and make yourself a ritual? It doesn't need to be fancy or formal. Light a candle. Embrace a token. Set a token down. Sing. Release. Weep. Feel the witness of a wider circle of love. Feel the spirit of life that holds you. Feel the calling of that bigger yes burning inside you, calling you forward. And as you do, perhaps you will feel yourself slip into the next stage, the wilderness. This is the hardest phase to hang out in, as it is necessarily unstable. You are no longer your old self, but not yet new either. It feels like waiting, absence, disorientation. We often fail to give ourselves adequate time here. We rush to restabilize. But it is this wilderness, interim place where we experience the renewal necessary to begin again. Discoveries and creativity abound. Learning and integration, healing, reconciliation, wholeness. You'll need friends to circle around for this phase too. At the least, someone or someones who can, quote, hear you into speech, unquote. Someone who will listen to you deeply enough that you can fully hear yourself. After some time and some bouncing around all these stages, eventually, most of the time, we arrive at the final stage of the transition, launching the new beginning. It may look precisely as you imagined, or entirely different. Letting yourself discover along the way is living too. Living things learn too. For all the transitions we find ourselves in, for the endings they require, the wilderness we wander in, and the new beginnings we strive for, let us walk together, bless the path, and remind each other how to breathe.
Carry the flame by Brian Keeley. The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet. Our closing hymn this morning is number 359, When We Are Gathered, Please Rise in Body or Spirit.
Benediction is by Emily Richards. May you be changed. May you leave this time together changed. May the promise you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Amen.